Okay, today we're interviewing Master Jordan Schreiber from San Francisco, California as part of our Leadership Now initiative. Master Schreiber, I met you years ago, and I've always been intrigued by your story, and then when we started speaking more about it, I found out much more about you that I didn't know that intrigues me even more, and I'd like other people to get to know you as a leader and what drives you as a leader, and share some of your insight with us.
Sir.
So thank you. Appreciate the interview, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, one of the first things I knew about you was some of your background as far as you've traveled many different parts of the world through education, just through moving about. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sir. I was born in New Mexico. I grew up in Taos, which is a small rural town in northern New Mexico. And since age 9, I've been a student of now Chief Master Dan Thor, who still has the school there that I trained in growing up. And I stayed there until I finished high school. Then I ended up in college in the Boston area. I went to Harvard undergrad. So that was the first time I'd been anywhere real far from home.
Yeah, I know you're a very humble person and don't like talking about yourself a lot, but I understand that I know you grew up in Taos and then you went to, you're a Harvard graduate?
Yes, sir.
And also a Rhodes Scholar, right. And traveled and lived in England, where I believe you said that in England you opened up a WTTU school?
Yes, sir. I actually had an ATA club at Harvard when I was an undergrad there, which I kept running, and when I returned to the same school for law school, I kept that same club going. But in the interim between college and law school, I was in England for a couple of years at Oxford, and I had a WTTU club there. So throughout all my education, I taught Taekwondo 5 days a week.
And then what brought you back to the States?
I finished schooling there. I came back to do law school. Although actually at the time that when I returned from England, I had been accepted to law school but wasn't sure I wanted to go, and what I was sure of was that I wanted to teach Taekwondo. And so I got the law school at that time I was planning on attending law school in Connecticut, and I got the school to agree to give me a year off before I started so that I could start a Taekwondo school. And I did that in New Haven, Connecticut, and eventually ended up going to law school afterwards.
Well, it sounds like you're a very driven person and very goal-oriented. To whom do you credit that? Who are your, or where do you get your guidance from, your leadership, your mentorship?
My main inspiration has probably been my parents over the years. My main mentor has been Chief Master Thor. As I said, he's been my instructor since I was 9 years old. And it's interesting to me because I have a great relationship with my parents. I have a really nice relationship with my dad. So I didn't need a father figure. I didn't feel like I needed a male mentor in my life at any point. And yet I've developed this mentorship relationship with Master Thor over the last nearly 28 years, where he does play a sort of fathering role for me, even though I have a very great father. And there have been times over the years when I've needed to go to Master Thor, particularly for things that I wasn't able to deal with my parents, like their divorce.
Sure. So parents are always very important in a child's growth.
Absolutely.
And even as an adult.
Absolutely.